This episode is brought to you by Hulu Plus. Watch your favorite shows anytime, anywhere with Hulu Plus. At home or on the go on your smartphone or tablet. Shows like South Park, Key and Peele, American Horror Story, and more. Try Hulu Plus free for 2 weeks when you go to huluplus.com/screenplay.
Hey everybody, you're watching RT Screenplay.
How's it going?
I'm JJ, and I've got a lot of headroom today. We've got Blaine Gibson today, Brandon Farmahini, and
just
Chris Demarais.
shrinking.
Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Did Wayne Zielinski come in here and shoot me with a laser? Who was it that saw
Me, Honey Shrunk the Kids.
Did we talk about
it's
that
awesome.
last week?
Yes.
Yeah, we did. Okay.
Did you watch Honey, I Blew Up the Kids this week?
Come on, Mandy. Come on in. Yeah, nice X-ray and Vav.
Get back to the
Sweatshirt.
video store.
Wave at the camera. There you go. Too late. As you can tell, Mandy, if you're on the audio podcast, you can't tell, but if you're watching, Mandy's wearing one of our X-Ray and Vab merchandise. And remember, if you want merchandise by Christmas from the Rooster Teeth, hit your store make your purchase by the 16th, I think, right? You don't have to pay a bunch of extra
I think if you
shipping.
go to the website, it's in there.
Yeah, we had a lot of cool stuff. And I want to say thanks to the fan who sent these really awesome screenplay koozies. And there's even there's a Rooster
awesome.
Teeth on the bottom, and I would show you, but I'd tilt it over.
I think the Rooster Teeth podcast version 2 shirt came out last week, and you had a quote on there, Blaine, right?
It was super strength, super charm, and super humility. Yeah, I was really proud of that because I've never made it onto a shirt. So I was like,
How's it feel to finally make your way to a shirt, Blaine?
oh, I feel like a celebrity, I guess.
Nice.
I don't know. I don't know where that was going.
Is that your lead line on Tinder?
Yeah, it's like I'm on a shirt.
So
Yeah, what do you got,
this
Chris?
week
I'm a pilot.
is
Oh, what are you this week?
I'm a
Chris,
cop.
You're a cop?
New York cop.
Specifically for Die Hard.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, Die Hard. Yeah,
I wanted to be the New York
It
cop.
is. I love Die Hard. Yeah.
It's a good movie. Die Hard is a good movie.
Wow. All right. I'm glad we got that taken care of.
Yeah.
Die Hard is a good movie.
It is.
such a
It's a
good movie.
really good movie.
Before we jump into any movie stuff, let's go say hello to Miss Andy, the intern in the video store. We were supposed to have Mr. Gustavo Sorolla, but he got a little busy. I actually see him. I see him walking around, but he is so busy he can't say hello. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. Give it a shot of Gus. There, kind of. And slowly. And
there
you
he
go.
is.
Whoa.
Oh,
That was
a tracking shot.
He's lost.
Gussie's lost.
All right.
Put him down.
And our viewership just peaked and then it just went down. Let's see. Now we have what everyone watched this weekend, by the way.
Oh,
I watched Die Hard like 5 times.
I watched Die Hard.
I watched Interstellar. Finally.
Finally, like very few people have saw Interstellar. And finally, you.
Yeah,
actually
and it
have-
was awesome.
wasn't it?
It was really awesome.
Yeah,
Like,
I was making fun of Chris because he's like, "Can we talk about Interstellar?" It reminds me of that Jim Gaffigan bit where he's like, "I always watch movies 10 years too late." I'm like, "I just watched Heat. Who wants to talk about Heat?"
no, it was awesome though. Like
Yeah.
it was kind of like Gravity, but also if you Contact, the other
Yeah.
like alien.
It
It
was-
was like a good version of Contact.
Yeah,
that was
that's
like
a really good way to put it.
really suspenseful and really awesome. The stakes, they did such a good job of making the stakes high at all times. It's like years are going by, but it's like the stakes are super high. It's like, we got to do this research now. We're not going to save the world. It's like they're doing research and you feel like, oh God, I hope they do the research good.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I feel like they made a lot of science cool.
Yeah.
Like whenever the ship was spinning out of control, they tried to make their smaller ship spin an equal speed in order to line it up. So then you saw the outside perspective of the two things just going crazy, and then you saw from the perspective of their small ship that things weren't actually moving, or like the big ship wasn't moving. Everything else was spinning.
I got the newest issue of Wired magazine, and it was done by it was edited by Christopher Nolan, but it says directed by Christopher Nolan on the front of the Wired issue.
Really?
They've had guest people come in. They've had J.J. Abrams and people do guest
Editorials and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So he did the whole Wired this month, and there's a comic from the movie, and it follows Man. It follows Matt. I don't want to ruin the character. There's a character. Can we say?
It's far enough along that.
Okay, so it's Matt Damon's character. I said it's out of the bag. There's no going back. So there's a little comic that kind of like tells a story of his character on his planet like it's kind of like a prequel sci-fi.
Oh, that's really
really
cool.
cool.
Yeah, so if you have the newest issue to Wired or you have it on your iPad or whatever,
That's
it's
cool.
Yeah.
Clayton, our audio guy, has a really interesting approach to movies. He does not look into any of the trailers or any of the information, so he just goes in with just
Yeah.
completely fresh eyes. And I didn't look into Interstellar, and when Matt Damon showed up, I was like, holy hell.
Yeah.
that's
I didn't know he was
awesome.
going to be.
I didn't know.
I'd
he was
only
in
seen
there.
the teaser, and it was awesome. But it's a movie you have to pay attention to every single line of dialogue, because if you miss something, you're going to spend the next 2 minutes trying to figure out the context of what's going on.
Well, AMC was doing that thing where they were offering a unlimited Interstellar
Views.
ticket.
Yeah.
And so this guy, I read this blog article, and he watched 15 hours of, or maybe even more, of Interstellar, like just straight through. And he was like, he said the worst part was, it was the first time he'd seen it, was when he marathoned it, is that he only had 6 minutes before screenings from running to screenings. So that's 6 minutes to be like,
Digest.
whoa, that means this, and that shot was, oh wow, and that.
Yeah.
So like you couldn't really, you're just sitting down watching it again.
So I want to present a question. What is a movie that as soon as you finished it, you went back and watched
Before
it?
we leave Interstellar, let me say this real quick. I don't want to give away a lot, but hopefully if you've seen it, you might understand what I'm saying. The way that the big reveal turned out, like who he was talking to or who he was meeting, it reminded me a lot of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, like the time travel in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. And hopefully, if you've seen the movie or you've seen both of those movies, you understand the who's sending a message. They know they send. All right, no spoilers.
No spoilers.
All right.
I don't want to get away from Interstellar. There was one more thing. Now that I've had a chance to kind of sit on it and chew on it a bit, I still love the movie, but I did think that Nolan kind of does what he normally does, which is he just kind of glaze over some of the plot details. Did you ever think that the robot, was it
Tars?
I want one of those. Just
I do too. Awesome guy.
Yeah.
But like he was way too savvy on what was happening. He was like going through and just explaining.
yeah, he was an exposition device.
Yeah, big time.
And this was something we talked about in the past. Is I love Chris Nolan movies, but like I feel like something like The Prestige is perfect because he didn't really feel to over-explain it, and even so with Inception, he just kind of left it to you. And I don't know if he got so much blowback from that or what, but I felt like he over-explained everything in this movie.
There are those scenes in the coffee shop though in Inception where it's like 30 minutes of
but I guess
so-
like just the whole science of it all, it was a little bit too much like on the nose for me. I would have rather like
I get it,
watched
yeah.
the movie 3 times, maybe read some articles or read some people leaving comments on the internet and going, oh, that's it.
You have to think about it though, like it's everybody dreams, you know, and everybody kind of understands dreams, but like, you know, this was like really complex stuff. So I think to a certain degree they had to do that. Like not a lot of people know about relativity.
Of course.
Yeah.
So like that I kind of got, but yeah, there was
it just
some,
opens up possibilities
Yeah.
for them in the story.
yeah.
So wait, Brandon, you were talking about how, or who was talking about like when they go see a movie they don't want to see trailers or anything?
Yeah, I
That's
guess
Clayton.
Clayton and
Okay,
I
Clayton.
don't.
So who else is kind of using this approach for Star Wars is George Lucas himself. Chris sent me an article. And so they asked Lucas what he thought about the new trailer, and he's like, well, I'm not going to watch it. I want to watch the movie not knowing anything.
That's cool.
I totally get that.
Except for-
I don't know if he's just like, I want to go into him fresh.
To me, well, reading the article, they were like, "So, are you excited about what he's going to do?" And he was like, "Meh." I feel he didn't seem. I mean, maybe it was the article taking it out of context, but he just seems kind of like,
Yeah.
well, we'll see what happens.
It very much might be out of context, but I got the same feeling. Remind me a lot if you were to go up a guy and ask about the sex life between his ex-wife and her new husband.
Yeah, that's a really good
Yeah.
analogy.
It's a really
like,
good
well,
analogy.
you know, I know everyone's really excited. I know they think they're a great couple, and everyone's
Yeah.
really excited to see them
Yeah,
get
but it's,
married.
you know-
Yeah.
But you know, I boned her first. So
I've also seen her naked.
Yeah,
I will
I
sleep
was
at
there.
I'm
night.
thinking more from like a family perspective, you know, with like kids and.
Well, you know, this goes back to on a few screenplays back. I was talking about how Sam Raimi, what he said about the new Spider-Mans, and if he'd seen them, and he was like, "No," he's like, "My wife liked them." Blah blah blah. He's like, "I just have no interest in seeing going to my ex-girlfriend's wedding."
yeah,
So I totally get that. Which on a totally different James Horner? Who does Andy? Who does the music for the first Spider-Man? The remakes of them. It's James Newton Howard. Either way,
the 2000 one with
the one with
first
Andrew
Tobey
Garfield, the
Maguire?
first Andrew Garfield.
Oh, okay.
So he did. The guy who composed it did not work. This article just came out. Did not work on the sequels because he said they were just so bad. He said he didn't want nothing to do with it, and he said that like the producer.
Sequels as in The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah,
not
the sequel. He
Spider-Man
said
2
because
or
the
3.
first one was like done so bad that he read the story for part 2 and was like, I don't want anything to do with this. And he was saying that the producers were just strong-arming Mark Webb, and that he really enjoyed Mark Webb. And when he makes movies, it's like him and the director kind of working on this. But he says that now, like especially in these bigger films, they're getting like, because Mark Webb had only done 500 Days of Summer and a few music videos. So whenever I see an inexperienced director get like a big tentpole blockbuster, all I can think of, these are suits that just want to be able to push this guy around because he's not been around as long.
Yeah, those guys don't have a ton of power. I think you have some exceptions. Hans Zimmer is probably pretty, now Trent Reznor, but for the most part, those guys kind of.
Or no, yeah, but it's just like, but even like, I guess a really good example, filmmaker-wise, would be like David Fincher. Like he always hates Alien 3 because the studios just dicked him around.
Yeah.
So when you have no power.
He's not the only one who hates it.
Yeah.
But.
Blaine, what were you saying?
Well, it's an interesting because, well, first of all, Spider-Man 2, I thought that the best quality about it was the soundtrack. I think it was Hans Zimmer, and there was like some like young artist. Anyways, just going off of that, I noticed
incredible Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2 was terrible. Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Not the Sam Raimi, the Mark Webb one.
Yeah. That was terrible, but I thought the music was the big redeeming quality of that.
Okay.
Because I still listen to the soundtrack.
I thought the sound design is amazing,
it's fucking
especially
good.
with the villain. Can I say something real? Oh,
Yeah, go
sorry.
ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, go ahead.
Everyone's so proper.
Yeah.
No. It's just
I submit the floor to you.
in terms of composers, I'm gonna go back to Star Wars real quick. You know, when we
Go ahead.
edit stuff and we reuse assets from a previous short, or if it's a continued thing like Tin Little Roosters, what we do is we go get that file and then we lay it into the video, and that's what happens. Is it weird to think that John Williams is going to like rescore the main themes of Star Wars?
You mean like go back and do those same?
Yeah, like
They do that
when
a
you
lot,
see the
but I think-
scrolling text, is it weird to think that's not going to be the same audio?
It's the same
from-
variation. It's like he takes it and then lets it like create little branches and change and vary, and it kind of breathes new life to it.
Yeah,
They
but I
do it
think
in a
it's
lot
like
of movies.
1,000 different people now that are working, probably not 1,000, a few hundred different people now that are making that theme that made the one 10 years ago and maybe made the one 30 years ago.
I think that's cool. I
they
mean,
do, I'm just saying, do you feel like is it kind of weird or interesting?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the way they approach Star Wars in general. Is it's like they're taking this thing that everyone's loved, and then they're gonna try and breathe new life to it, and they want to take everything that was good about the originals, and then just kind of like branch it and make it grow.
I trust
like
that
a little tree.
Williams is just really good. I mean, with music, obviously, but it's interesting. Like he's reused some of the same kind of stuff throughout the 6 Star Wars movies that already exist. So, for example, Emperor Palpatine's "Da-na-na-na-na-na," that theme song is in Episode 1 when Palpatine, before he's like Sidious, gets, I think he becomes a senator or something. It's like
Well, I think isn't that just foreshadowing?
Yeah.
like
It's
they're
just-
trying
but
to
it's
like
cool.
give you the same idea, like the same feel. like, speed it.
Wait. Star Wars wasn't on any of the talking points. How did you guys do that again?
Good job, Chris.
I learned it. We got it from you. God damn it.
All right,
You
well,
incepted it.
I did. I put it in your head.
so we're
All
gonna change
right.
the subject. If we're going off the music thing, I
No,
did
hold on,
notice.
really quickly.
Yeah,
We forgot a few things. We got to talk about the movie quote, which we start with every show.
Is it from Star Wars?
Is it from Star Wars? Let's go to Andy.
can't
real
tell
quick. Sorry
you.
to
Or Die
derail.
Hard.
I
Hard's a good
gave
movie.
so many of the Star Wars fans blue balls right now. They were like, yeah, and then
I mean, that's
no.
pretty much the entire year is going to be a Star Wars blue ball fest.
the best kind of blue balls. And on that note, Andy.
Okay, well, first of all, you were thinking of Danny Elfman when you were talking about the 2002 Spider-Man. Yeah.
Wait, 2002?
Yeah, like the one with Tobey Maguire.
No, I wasn't talking about. I was never talking about those.
Were you talking about The Amazing Spider-Man?
I was talking about the Amazing Spider-Man. I was
Oh.
saying that guy who did that music was saying he had no part of the movie. I like Danny Elfman. Oingo
Yeah.
Boingo. He's the voice of Jack Skellington.
Well, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was actually, it was Hans Zimmer, like you said, and it was also Pharrell Williams.
Pharrell. That's
Yeah,
right.
Pharrell Williams.
Hans and Pharrell are like really close
Also
friends.
Johnny Marr from The
good.
Smiths and Modest Mouse.
What?
Yeah,
Ah,
so
I didn't
pretty
know that.
interesting.
So what's the movie? The quote.
It's like a new pair of underwear. At first it's constrictive, but
Nice.
after a while it becomes a part of you. Remember to
love it.
say who said it and from what movie.
You know what it is, right?
Yeah.
Don't say it.
It's perfect. It's perfect. Wait, don't say it, right?
Yeah, don't say it.
All right. If you're gonna hurl into this. Am I
Oh
right?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
cool.
absolutely right.
Can I talk briefly about a movie I saw this weekend? I know you've seen it.
Yeah, no, just really quickly, if you guys are watching and you want us to comment or you have any opinions about what we're talking about, tweet us at RT Screenplay, hashtag RT Screenplay. Andy will be letting us know if anything noteworthy comes through. And if you're watching and this is pre-tape, you can comment underneath. And also don't forget, roosterteeth.com/screenplay. You can hang out with a bunch of people in the forums, talk about the movies we talk about every week. There's a bunch of movie nerds on there. Go hang out with them
Can we
if you
take
can.
a question maybe today too?
Let's take a question. Andy, keep your eyes out. What you got, Brandon?
So I saw Nightcrawler this weekend. I know
Yeah,
you've
I
seen
love
it
that
too.
movie.
And I feel like we can't talk about it as much as Inception because It
It's
wasn't
still under the radar.
Yeah, under the radar, and I think it might pick up once the Oscars come out. But I really loved it, and Jake Gyllenhaal is amazing, but he's so creepy in this. Like
Yeah.
he's so terrifying. And you were saying,
I think he should get an Oscar nod. Are you saying like?
you were saying that was never the point, right?
Well, I was saying that what I was saying is that like his evilness to me isn't like isn't like Alex and Clockwork Orange. It's not like this calculated. It's not like Christian Bale in American Psycho. It's more like a Walter White, where like the ideas and the things he puts in order, like the dominoes he sets up as a bigger picture. Like maybe he's not killing people like day to day, but that like his overall goal is fucking frightening.
Yeah.
And the way he approaches it with no remorse whatsoever is pure evil.
To give you some backstory, a Nightcrawler in this context is somebody, a videographer who just listens to the police radio and goes to the most gruesome crime scenes.
It's like
Which kind of happens in Die Hard.
It's
I'm
true.
sure-
goes to the most gruesome crime
It does,
scenes
yeah.
and gets video of it and then tries to sell it. So it's
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal trying to get into this industry. So we don't want to say too much,
But it's
But
good.
we really enjoyed it.
It's like
And
it's like TMZ for violence,
it's an original story.
which you wanted so much of.
It is. I can't. I haven't had the chance. I really want to see that, and I really want to see fucking Foxcatcher, but I can't
I haven't
find
seen that yet.
a theater that. I was hoping you'd have like a screener
screener?
or something.
I haven't seen it, no.
But yeah, I cannot find a theater in Austin that's playing Foxcatcher. But yeah, it's Nightcrawler. It's not a date movie. I think you're proud of me for realizing.
Oh,
that
did you
this-
watch it?
No, I haven't gotten to see it yet because like I can't
I see, but I
take
disagree
anybody
with
to
you.
it.
I do think it's a date movie because it's suspenseful.
It is
It's one of those
suspenseful.
things that when you're watching somebody, you're like holding on like this, and it's like intense and
Yeah.
fun. So I
Damn.
think that is a date movie.
Yeah.
It's just Interstellar, where you're just like thinking the whole time, and one person's gonna feel
Interstellar
dumb.
was absolutely a date movie.
The
conversation.
It was a good because it spews conversation.
Oh, the
And you
conversation.
can talk about it, and I left Interstellar being excited and being like, oh, I want to talk about this movie. Blah blah blah.
Will you go see St. Vincent on a date, please?
Why don't you guys go together?
yeah, we can do that.
I love Nightcrawler because I'm a huge fan of like the media and seeing how media works, but I love like Network. Like that's one of my favorite movies. And so the idea of like because people get so used to just watching news on TV and how they don't think about how it's delivered to them. They don't think about the package. They don't think about the editor in the edit bay saying, "No, we need more blood. No, show the mom's face." Like the really fucked up evilness that like brings stuff to TV. So that's I
exploitive,
love
yeah.
We need
that.
Patrick to watch this movie,
Yes.
and then give us his version.
Patrick worked at news for a long
Yeah,
time.
Patrick
Our
Podrick, who
director.
produces runs the whole studio department, worked at a local affiliate
Good
for like 20 years or 15 years. So I think he could give us background. From what I know, though, it's basically going to be like things are way more ghetto than they look in that movie. But that was cool. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, no, probably.
So about new movies coming out or fun movies.
Really quick, so this weekend we talked about some movies we watched. I watched The Babadook finally. I saw a thing I'll post on Reddit Movies, and they were saying why The Babadook is the scariest and best horror movie of the last 10 years. I don't agree with that. I agree that it's a really good movie. I agree that the set design looks really like totally Tim Burton-y. The book, the pop-up book itself, like I love the drawings and the design of it all, and the way and the monster. I love that. The movie itself, not exactly like I wasn't freaked out at all, but I enjoyed like the design of things. Like the little kid, he's annoying as hell.
Can you explain or what's the premise? Like, give the setup?
The Babadook is kind of like it's a mother and a son, and they come across this pop-up book, and it's like saying that there's monsters gonna come, and it's gonna like let itself known by a noise, and then it's gonna come and get you pretty much. And there's little kind of things throughout the whole movie that make you feel like, and it gets to a point where you're like, is it a monster? Is it not a monster? Or like, what's happening?
I think that's a common thing in horror movies. Is like playing off like children rhymes and stories. Like even Freddy, with the claws and whatnot. It's a rhyme. It's like a little rhyme that kids sing.
No, that's always it's always
and I
Freddy.
think that I think it comes from like kids. You're so scared of everything as a kid, and you have so many nightmares, and it's like it's easy to draw upon that.
Totally,
people's
like
fears.
whenever you connect something with childhood, that's why it's always like dolls and clowns and little things are fucking frightening. But but like I mean, look at like nursery rhymes and fairy tales, like they're all fucked up. Like the Hans, like
Brothers Grimm
Pocket Full of
stuff.
Rosies, or like
Jack and Jill fell down the hill, broke her
crown.
neck or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
and
it's
like
fucked up.
became
crazy too,
paralyzed from the
they'll-
waist down.
And it's crazy. They'll take super sad stories and make them into like fun feel them too. Like
true.
the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh yeah, that's not
It's
an
a
aha
super
The Notre
depressing
Dame,
story.
the real way it really ends is the Hunchback. He gets buried with Esmeralda because she's dead and he can't live without her, so he gets buried alive with her dead body.
Fuck.
Yeah, that wasn't in the Disney version though.
No. Hey, so was this called the Babadook?
The Babadook.
And is that like
It's an Australian. It's an Australian.
Is it straight up horror?
No, I wouldn't say it's straight up horror, but I mean, it's a horror genre.
I am in the mood for horror movies. If you guys could tweet in some really good
Yeah,
horror.
some real
Have you
scary.
seen it?
No. Well, last good horror movie that I saw was that one with the dude that was in Watchmen. He played Night Owl, and then I think it was
the one about
Happening?
Annabelle, the one.
It was the
Conjuring.
One, the Conjuring. Conjuring was a good fucking horror film.
Do you guys feel that Beetlejuice is a horror movie?
Comedy.
It's comedy horror.
Black comedy.
I mean, it's really funny, but that
It gave me
It's a dark comedy.
It gave me nightmares.
The last act is
and I
scary
do
as
think
hell.
it
Maybe
probably
because
gave
you
a
saw
lot
it
of
as a
people
kid.
nightmares. I did.
But as a kid, it's different.
Well,
Like,
the last act isn't funny when they're doing the marriage and it's all dark and like you're scared. Whenever,
a lot of
whenever
stuff
Alec
gave me
Baldwin,
nightmares
whenever
as a
Alec Baldwin and
kid.
Gina Davis turns to skeletons and like shrink up, like that's
Barney,
not funny.
did Barney give you nightmares? He's a giant dinosaur.
he didn't give me nightmares. but
Well, I don't even know where this tangent
Brandon
came from.
loves Beetlejuice. When we went to Universal Studios not too long ago in Florida, they had a live Beetlejuice musical, and he was
that's
like,
awesome.
"I don't know if I should do this because I love it so much, and I don't want it to be ruined."
It might be
and I was
ruined.
like, "Do you wanna go close by?" And we were like, "Yeah, sure. Let's listen to a song." And we ended up staying there for like what 4 or 5 songs.
You liked it too. We both didn't
No,
want
fuck
to
yeah.
admit that it was awesome. We were just like, whoa.
This
this
is
is
all right.
I just like the idea. I like
He's
that.
got a good Michael Keaton
That's
voice.
how I. That's how I
He was
watched
a
Dragon
great
Ball Z.
Beetlejuice.
I like the idea of Blaine being like, Brandon, you want to watch the Beetlejuice?
Yeah, basically what it was.
You want to watch the Beetlejuice?
No.
Can you stay online?
It was awesome.
When I was a kid, my brother would watch Dragon Ball Z, and I'd come in and I'd be like, "This show's so stupid. I can't believe you're watching
just
this."
watch it.
But you would
and then
watch
I'd
it?
sit down and I'd watch it, and I'd be like, there's another episode. I can't believe you're watching this." And,
show.
and then the next day, I'd come in and I'd be like, "Oh, you're watching this again? All right."
Dragon Ball Z should have can't believe I'm buying this.
We were talking earlier about book adaptations of movies and stuff. I actually just went through because Jurassic World did this to me.
Oh, that's right.
I'm reading the Jurassic Park books. Completely different. I recommend that if anybody's
good?
a fan of Jurassic Park, yeah, I think it's Michael Crichton.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's some pretty good stuff. Completely different. Jurassic Park, the book is like fucking dark, man. Of
course. Really?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. So really cool. Let's talk about this. This happened literally right after we closed last week's episode. Like we said, thank you, goodbye, and then I went to my computer and someone's like, Suicide Squad just got posted, and I was like, oh, this is awful. So it's been a whole week since this has come out,
Yeah,
but
that cast is intense.
it's a great cast.
I
It's,
have
it's even
theories.
better than the Batman Superman movies I'm thinking so far. I mean, like compare Will Smith and Jared Leto to like Henry Cavill, or Jason Momoa. So here it is: Jared Leto's the Joker, Will Smith is Deadshot, Tom Hardy's Rick Flag. So Tom Hardy's back in the DC universe. Margot Robbie is Harley Quinn. Jai Courtney is Boomerang, and Cara she's gorgeous, but I can't say her last name.
I want this movie. I want it now.
Enchantress.
Yeah.
Delaveline.
I think Jared Leto is a
There you go. Thank you so much, Meg
Meg.
Turney.
Jared Leto's a safe cast for the hype. Like Ben Affleck is the exact opposite. I think he'll do well, but everybody was scared of him. But I think right now everyone's like, well, Jared Leto's he just does whatever he wants, and he just wants to make it good, and he's crazy.
And he likes to do emo rock music.
I was gonna
Yeah.
mention this on a tweet or something, but like, I'm so glad that Jared Leto gets cast as the Joker, and you don't hear a naysayer.
I think
Yeah.
people
I'm
just
so
excited that
happy
the
about
I
Joker.
think people see it.
I think they're
Yeah.
excited that he's going to be back. I'd rather live in a world with someone else taking on the Joker than just having no Joker.
Yeah, well, I think too is it was like, all right, like Heath Ledger when he was cast as
lost
as a
their
Joker,
shit.
everyone lost
Oh,
it because
totally.
they couldn't imagine. It was like
Yeah.
it was a disconnect.
And
They're
it
like,
did so
The 10
long.
things I hate
they're
about
like,
you guys.
Yeah, it's like him.
No
and-
one had seen Monsters Ball or any of his
yeah,
other
exactly.
movies.
or
That's
like
true.
or Knight's Tale or something.
Yeah.
It's like him as the Joker. It's like that. He can't
Yeah.
do that, but it's like he's an actor. He's varied. He can pull shit.
I'll
out
tell
of
you
his
what.
ass.
None of these casting news upset me. I'm not worried about it. Like, let's just see what they have to offer. It's too soon to tell. What does bother me is all these clickbait websites and all these like click holes and stuff that like put up all these what they could look like, and they're just awful photoshops off the internet that someone just
Yeah.
took a picture of
Yeah.
Jared Leto and put him into like the
See,
Joker smile. I don't need to see
Will
that.
Smith. When has Will Smith been a bad guy?
I cannot think of a movie.
Exactly. And I think that's gonna be cool.
So I think that Will Smith being Deadshot, he's going to be a supporting character. I think this is what Jim Carrey did in Kick-Ass 2. Like Colonel Stars and Stripes. He's going to do something like a performance that we've never seen. He's
I
gonna
can
Like,
only
yeah,
watch
but
half that
when
movie.
Will Smith always plays
The good guy.
the hero.
It's the same dude, pretty much.
Yeah, he always plays Will Smith as a good. I
Yeah.
want to see Will Smith be evil.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Like, and he's an assassin, and he's fucking good at what he does. So I want to see like Killer Will Smith.
Yeah.
It's like Tom Hanks. You never really see him as the bad guy.
I feel like I've seen him. He was kind of a bad guy
Road to
in
Perdition.
what was the gangsta movie that was based on a graphic
Road to
novel, Road to
Perdition.
Perdition. But he's not really a bad
Well,
guy.
he's the anti-hero.
He's the
so,
anti-hero.
I have some questions about Tom Hardy as was it Rick Flag?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of well. He was Bane, so it's like he already kind of exists. I guess it's the same thing. Fantastic Four and then Captain America.
It's tough though, because you do not see Tom Hardy as Bane. I mean, you obviously never see his face, but it's just. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people had no idea what he even looked like.
Well, talking about other actors who are playing more than one superhero, there's a lot. So you have Daredevil and Batman. It's Ben Affleck. You've got Chris Evans as the
Johnny
Storm.
Johnny Storm, yeah.
And then Captain America. So it happens a lot. So Ryan Reynolds, who was the Green Lantern, he's also Deadpool.
Oh, yeah, that just came out.
And
the other day.
I love that. I think who though is in Marvel and DC at the same time. I think Ryan Reynolds is the only one who's done Marvel and DC.
No, Batman is Marvel and DC.
What's that?
Daredevil's Marvel.
Oh, you're right.
Batman's
Correction.
DC.
Yeah. So either way, so Reynolds is finally coming back as Deadpool, and so the director is this kind of special effects supervisor guy who did the mock trailer earlier. So so Ryan Reynolds tweeted a picture, and it was just there it is. It's Deadpool with a bunch of bullets, and it just said it's chimichanga time. So
that looks real.
Yeah, so we have there to look forward.
Oh, that's a comic still.
We have that to look forward to. That'll be interesting.
Someone messed up that Spider-Man.
So Deadpool is always a lot of fun. And another Marvel news, there's not really much to say about this. I don't want to dive into it too much. I just want to mention it. So Benedict Cumberbatch is now officially Doctor Strange. It is not Joaquin Phoenix like everyone thought it was going to be. And Al Pacino has met with Marvel for...
Play a villain.
You think it'll be a villain?
He'd be a good villain. I think he'd be good, yeah.
Al Pacino?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was reading the article. Apparently, his kids were huge fans of the Marvel Universe. They drug him to see Guardians of the Galaxy. He said he loved Guardians of the Galaxy. He said it felt had a Shakespearean feel to it.
I want to end this.
Yeah, and then so I guess the word got back to Kevin Feige or whatever at Marvel, and they were like, "Well, let's meet with Pacino."
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think that he met with them first and confronted them. It was like, "I want to be in your movie." But he carries so much baggage, not like bad baggage per se, but it's so hard to disconnect him from Scarface, and from
Godfather.
And The Godfather, and it's tough because I don't think he's had a lot of big successes outside of The Devil's Advocate.
Oh, in Jack and Jill was another good success.
Fuck! Yeah, he won Razzies for that.
Fucking that movie.
I think, but it's already. I think it's safe to say that Al Pacino's already been in the best comic book movie ever,
which
Dick
is
Tracy.
He was was he Hardhead?
He was
or whatever it is.
He was because Dustin Hoffman was Mumbles. Babyface.
Nice.
Our special guest from the Draft House. I know he's probably biting his lip because he's such a movie nerd. But yes, thanks to Greg and Clennon from the Draft House, Alamo Greg, it is Babyface. But that movie's fucking awesome. I love Dick Tracy. It's a good fucking movie. Okay, so Warner Brothers. You guys familiar with the book Ready Player One?
Know of it.
So it's about a guy. It's about like I know a little bit about it, and it's a huge thing. It's kind of like a sci-fi with a bunch of 80s like pop culture references.
From my understanding, it's a guy makes a game and he hides his like fortune in the game and you can find it, and then he dies and then nobody knows where it is. So it's just people trying to find it. So then like you follow this guy who actually like finds clues, first clues that have.
Are we right, Meg?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making.
It's really, I've never met anybody who didn't like it.
Yeah, Meg is staring at us intently.
Like, oh, Ready Player One.
No, it's one of those books that like the Nerdist and everyone on like pop culture people just love this book.
Could we have her on the thing? I kind of want to ask questions. You've read the book.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to know like, what do you think? How Nolan is going to fit into that? Like, do you think he's going to do a good job?
Well, no, it's not official. It's not official.
Rumored? Okay.
Blaine Gibson is reporting.
Well, sorry, but as an adaptation, because from my understanding, there's things like from Star Wars, there's like X-wing fighters and stuff like.
There's all like it literally is all pop culture. So like if you're a fan of pop culture, it just takes stuff from it's people who are in the future that are obsessed with the 80s and 90s. I mean, mostly the 80s. So it's just like everything from that pop culture. They watch 80s movies and they say phrases from 80s movies. So I have no idea like licensing wise how that would work.
In an article they said that the screenwriters like I'm taking some liberties because we can't obtain some of
to a
the
lot of
rights to these.
But that's what kind of sucks because the charm part of the charmingness of the book is that you're like, oh, I remember that thing too, or like, oh, I love that movie too, or like it's part of like the fact that they are co-opting that culture that makes it so charming. So the story is really cool by itself, but it is helped so much by those references.
I just hope it's not hindered because they can't obtain the licenses for a lot of the stuff.
We'll see what happens. They might make exceptions for little things. Thank you, Meg Turney, for Ready Player One information.
You know, sometimes those restrictions are kind of liberating. I mean, obviously, there's some things that are really tough to work past, but when you have just this completely open book, which I think has hurt a lot of movies, there's so many different possibilities, but when it's like you need to work within these parameters, it kind of focuses you.
If you can put Roger Rabbit and like Mickey Mouse. I mean, if you can put Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse in the same movie and Roger Rabbit, you can find a way to put X-wings in a fucking.
God, I love that movie so much.
But that's what I'm saying. You have all these like Hanna-Barbera things that like should never exist at the same time. Like I feel like Ready Player One could do that. Everyone is on the internet is saying how Chris Nolan is a bad choice because there's a lot of comedy, there's a lot of fun and jokes, and Nolan is not really the most comedic kind of filmmaker. So everyone is saying the perfect choice for this is Edgar Wright. And I can imagine like an approach to this, like a kind of Scott Pilgrim approach to this would be a really awesome feel.
Coincidentally, Edgar Wright is apparently in talks for Star Trek 3.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about Robert Orci coming out. That's the thing.
I can't see that.
So Edgar Wright jumps off of Ant-Man or gets kicked, however you want to look at it. And then so now Robert Orci, who wrote all the Star Trek movies, who was going to direct his first directed movie, has jumped from Star Trek 3. And now they're looking at Edgar Wright.
He's still on for producer, though, so he's not
I'd be cool with that. I think he's a good director. He's fun.
Absolutely. I just don't know for Star Trek, though.
But he knows how to make fun movies that are, you know?
Simon Pegg is in Star Trek. So that'd be kind of fun.
If they could just put Nick Frost in,
they would find a way.
It's going to be interesting to see if they redirect the Star Trek series because, you know, when J.J. Abrams made it, I love them, but they weren't really Star Trek as we were shown in the series. It was more of like a fun action movie that felt more like J.J. Abrams.
True.
And at the end of Star Trek 2, they kind of set up, now it's the 5-year journey. Basically, now is when we started the original show. So I think things going to feel more, you know, there's more exploring, and hopefully there's going to be a little bit more analysis, because everything about Star Trek was in the 23rd century, we are critiquing what we were in the 20th century, and we are growing. Like every example Picard gave in Star Trek was, you know, humans in the 20th century, and it's like, dude, what about the 21st or 22nd century?
Refer to them,
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see if we kind of shift back to that world.
Andy, go ahead and look up Robert Orci as a writer on IMDb, because this guy's written a lot of stuff, and he used to write with his screenwriter partner, Alex Kurtzman. I believe they've split. They're not writing together anymore. So the thing is, Orci has written a bunch of amazing things, and he did the first 2 Star Treks, but he's also done some not so great things. He did these 2 Spider-Man remakes that we're not really big fans of. I think he worked.
Well, the first one I thought was good.
Well, he also did.
Yeah, I thought the first one was awesome.
He also did a lot of stuff for Transformers. So he's kind of a hired gun. So it's kind of interesting. No one really knows why he's off of Star Trek 3. What has he got, Andy?
It's Orci. Is
Orci,
that it?
there you go. Yeah.
Okay.
ORCI.
ORCI.
Yeah.
I love Matthew Vaughn was originally attached to do X-Men 3.
That's right.
And I thought he's really great. I loved Layer Cake, and I thought Kick-Ass 1 was really good.
He did Stardust as well.
And then he dropped out of it, and he had said, well, I'm going to be away from my family in England. But I like to think that he looked at that script, and he was like, fuck no.
Well, see, the thing about Star Trek, X-Men 3 is like they erased it. You know, like they erased it. It does. Thank God.
They picked in. That was the weird thing. In Days of Futures Past, there were some things that were consistent, and there's some things that weren't. I'd have to go back and watch it, but they
Okay, I have a question for you.
I love how they retconned it.
Have you all seen the Terminator trailer?
Genesis.
Yeah. So here's the deal. With X-Men, they pretty much erased the 3rd movie, right?
Oh, by the end of it.
Yeah,
But they made it canon.
What you're saying, though, is they do acknowledge the 3rd movie
it existed,
happened,
but then they
changed
erased it.
Okay, I thought you were
Days of
saying
Future Past,
they
right?
just ignored the 3rd movie.
So in the new Terminator trailer, they essentially erase the first movie. Or they don't erase it, but they go back to it
now.
and they remake. They're like, no, what you thought was Terminator, it's changed.
But I loved it.
She says you've been I think her line is you've been transported to a different past.
So this is like it's the story of, you know, him going back in time to save her. And then he arrives and he's like, oh, no, it's different now.
I think the big difference is, though, with X3, we wanted it to be changed. We wanted
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
with
That's a question.
Yeah,
That's a
with
question.
Terminator, I didn't need it.
Terminator wanted, like, I don't know if I necessarily want those stories to be erased.
I think the difference, though, is in a lot of people's minds, I feel like Terminator 2 is the beginning of the series for them. I think a lot of people haven't seen the first one, and the first one was good, but the second one was
The second one is what
amazing.
made Terminator.
Yeah.
That's the one that like made Terminator. Terminator.
I would walk out of this building right now if they were redoing the second Terminator.
Man,
I would.
yeah.
I don't know where I'd go.
You opened up the floodgates because I wanted to talk about Terminator. Like, there's a lot of stuff I noticed. There's T1000, but in the shopping mall, at the very beginning of where Terminator is supposed to start out, T1000 wasn't until like years later.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, what is going on in this world?
They're cherry picking. They're
completely-
cherry picking.
Like, well, no, they're
T1000 should not be the main antagonist. He's already been explored and he's awesome, but like,
they were just fucking with it. They were like, everything you know about Terminator is like, we're changing because everyone's going back in time. It's like the thing where you go back in time and then you go back in time again and then you go back in time again, and it's like time,
read-
and you don't know what's happening anymore.
I'd love to
Wild
categorize
stallions.
the different, time rules in different
Yeah, well,
movies because I
there-
feel like there's certain consistencies. Like there's one, there's one rule that says everything happened. Like you never go change time. When you go back and change things, you actually
It's
already
gonna
did it.
yeah, you already
and you
did
caused
it, and you're
then
causing
there's-
it.
that's the Harry Potter theory.
Yeah.
And then the Back to the Future theory is you can actually change time and change things
and
completely.
then even in Back to the Future, the second one, he goes back and he realizes he has to do things to make the first one happen.
no, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does. He like drops
Kinda.
the weights on the goons so they don't beat him up while he's on stage when he leaves stage.
that's right.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, but they were only there to jump him because of what he did in the second one. The first movie exists
okay,
independently.
maybe you're right.
And then
Maybe you're right.
they're
My
chasing
brain
him.
is having so much trouble.
God, I was supposed to ask you a Back to the Future question from a few weeks ago, and I don't remember.
You think about it. All right, we're ending up some of our movie time, but last thing I want to mention is Bebop and Rocksteady confirmed for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle 2 sequel. I'll tell you what, you put fucking Krang in that movie, I'll be there. I'll be there like the day before in a Ninja Turtle like blanket waiting outside.
Can you give me your Krang impression?
Oh, Krang?
Yeah, like he's kind of like the weird. Yeah. Good job, Gollum.
And then also they got a new director. They got the guy that did Earth to Echo, which I've not seen, but I imagine it's a good kids movie.
Yeah.
So I'd like to think the Ninja Turtle movie, the next one will be a good middle ground of gritty, action-packed, but
They just
also
gotta kill off
with a fun kids
Mega
touch.
Box.
Killer
Just gotta
Rock.
They've got to
If
have
you
a
bring
way
the
more
turtles, the
turtles.
first scene has to be some turtles.
All right, guys.
Well, but before we go,
Go ahead.
Oh, you have an ad?
No, go ahead.
Before we go, we've talked a lot about new comic book movies. I did want to talk about an existing one. So my second favorite Batman product ever is Batman Returns, and Blaine and I kind of mentioned it a few weeks ago. And you say you really don't like the movie.
Yeah, it irks me a little.
Why
Yeah.
don't you like it?
Oh, Batman Returns. I don't know, man.
Do you like Tim Burton?
No.
Okay, I think that explains it then.
Yeah.
There's a certain point at Tim Burton, like after Mars Attacks, he kind of got bad.
I think he got Gotham pretty well. Like he made it dark and gritty and just like scummy and stuff. But like that, I didn't see Keaton as Batman very well.
What?
Really?
I'm about to kick you out of this whole
That
fucking
scene with or 20 minutes in the movie is the first time you see Batman, and they're like, all this shit's going down. They put the light in the air, and then for some reason he has bat signals on his house, and then it just shines the bat signal into his
it's
throne,
dumb.
and he's just sitting there brooding. But it's a Burton movie.
Hey,
it's not a Batman movie.
Keaton
It's
did
a
it-
Tim Burton movie.
Yeah, because Batman's killing people left and right in the movie.
And it's just so dark. The Penguin is there with like black blood that he's coughing out. And what happened is the studio watched that movie and they were like, "What the fuck is this?"
Because you gotta keep in mind though too, like there weren't that many superhero movies at the time. Like
No,
you had like
yeah.
Donner, Superman, and stuff. Hold up, really quick. Right now, I gotta tell you something about Hulu Plus. It has all the current season episodes of your favorite shows like How to Get Away with Murder, Once Upon a Time, and South Park. And Hulu Plus has all the past season episodes of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, American Horror Story, Key and Peele, Parks and Rec, and more. Hulu Plus works on your computer, smart TV, Roku, Apple TV, Xbox, Wii, PlayStation, pretty much any streaming device you already own. With Hulu Plus, you're in total control to stream as much as you want, whenever you want. Binge watch all the shows you're behind. I love how it's okay to binge on things now. Binge watch all the shows you're behind on, or discover a new one. For only $7.99 a month, watch your favorite shows anytime, anywhere. But we're hooking you up with a 2-week free trial when you go to huluplus.com/screenplay. 2 weeks are better than one. Be sure to go to huluplus.com/screenplay so you get the extra free week. And they know that we sent you. That's huluplus.com/screenplay. Hulu Plus, represent. All right.
Keaton was like an average Bruce Wayne and terrible Batman. So like the suit was probably one of the biggest hindrances.
You know,
That
I don't
suit-
even hear anything you're saying anymore. It's just
the
noise.
suit-
You just said you said
the
Keaton
suit
was a
a
bad
piece of shit
Batman.
Why was the suit a
because he couldn't move his neck, so when he's fighting, he looked like a fucking chicken.
That was the suit in Batman Begins. That was the same suit in Batman Begins, and Twitter fact checked me on that. But the whole big thing on the Batman Dark Knight is the poster came out and Batman's doing this.
And everyone's like, he can move his neck.
Whoa, yeah, that was a stupid revelation.
It's a game changer.
But no, he was not a martial artist. Like, it just didn't seem like Batman's like the best hand-to-hand combat
Batman's not
in the
Jet
DC.
Li. He doesn't need to be a martial artist.
Yes, he is. He is.
Hand-to-hand combat's different.
I think he still made a good Batman. He still made a good Batman.
Dude.
He's a different Batman than Batman Begins.
All right.
Okay, but Bruce.
Okay, but that had. Oh God.
Swear to me.
All right. Okay, Christian Bale was trained by fucking ninjas, and like you saw him just like really laying in the
Who
back.
do you
Like,
think would win, Christian Bale
Christian Bale
or
Christian Bale?
What's? Oh,
no, it's not Michael Keaton.
The thing, Michael Keaton's a smarter Batman than Christian Bale.
Okay, probably
Christian Bale's emotional and he has fire, but Michael
true.
Keaton's
No,
smart.
Okay, and I hate to say this is blasphemy. Clooney was the best Wayne, and then Batman was
Dude,
Christian Bale.
You're saying all these things
no,
right
No,
now.
because Batman, Bruce Wayne is a
said
fucking.
Clooney.
No, he's
You
like
said Clooney.
he's like
Here's
a
the deal.
millionaire playboy.
Yes.
Clooney has that.
But it's a facade.
Exactly. No, Batman.
He's really Bruce Wayne. He's really the millionaire in that movie, and he's pretending to be Batman. And
Yes,
it should be
exactly,
reversed.
exactly.
All right, guys, we
No,
gotta move on.
real quick. One more.
Or no Die Hard.
The best
What?
thing ever. There's so many. The big part of movies is when
I
the
agree with
secret,
that's perfect. He's really Bruce Wayne. He's not Batman.
Christian Bale.
we can all agree on that.
When a superhero takes off his mask and reveals himself, that's always a big part in movies. And Batman Returns, in the history of all superheroes, has the best ever reveal, and it's when he and Selena Kyle are dancing in that scene when she's gonna kill the
love this
penguin,
scene.
and then there's mistletoe above them. And when they were fighting early in the movie as Batman and Catwoman, they saw some mistletoe, and they had said, one of them said, mistletoe can be deadly if you eat it. The other one said a kiss can be even deadlier if you mean it. And then
that's pretty cool.
An hour later, they're dancing as Selena Kyle and Bruce Wayne. They see the mistletoe, and then they reverse it. One of the other ones say, mistletoe can be deadly if you eat it, and then the other one says, mistletoe can be deadly mistletoe. I'm so excited. Mistletoe can even deadlier. A kiss can be even deadlier if you see it.
And what does
they're
Kyle say?
dancing. They're dancing, and they kind of look at each other.
And she
then
says-
Michelle Pfeiffer says, "Wait, should we start fighting now?"
She's like, we didn't have to start fighting now. She's like afraid.
Yeah.
She's the best. She's the best Catwoman. All right.
No, but that's
I'm
a cool
sorry.
interaction
It was
between
just
Batman
so
and
good.
Catwoman.
Hey, you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
That's Batman 1.
I know.
That's
It's still
Beetlejuice.
Keaton's Batman. All right. Jesus Christ.
No.
All right. Okay. Good. It's
not a good
Are we good? Are we
No,
on the same
no,
boat?
no, we're not.
Are we on the same boat? All right.
Nah.
Cool. All right. We had some filmmakers come by the studio this week to talk about their new film, Apartment 3D. While we set up for television, why don't you guys check out this exclusive screenplay clip that is not ready. Hey, everybody. Sitting here with Zach and Max from the film Apartment 3D. Thanks, guys, for coming.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Awesome. Now let's talk about the movie itself. What is the synopsis? I get it's kind of a couple moves into an apartment in New York, kind of dreary, kind of lonely. What can we expect?
Well, it's the middle of winter. It's already kind of dark, as you said, and
to add to that, we have a creepy next door neighbor who's superimposing and trying to find out all this stuff about our lives. We're hearing all these sounds from who we don't know who, our neighbors, we presume, but we never see these people. And we're just trying to get to the bottom of this in the midst of sort of having a couples quarrel. And it begins to, as the events get weirder and darker and scarier, spiral into a situation that we lose control of.
Well, thank you so much, Zach and Max. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much
I
for
look
having
forward
us.
to the next couple of films from you guys.
thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Only the next couple, though, after that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
then we're out of here.
So that was Zach at Brogno and Maxine, and they were at Apartment 3D. Make sure to check it out online. Also, look them up on Google. They also have a really cool thing they're doing with their Indiegogo. So if you want to support them, they'll send you some cool shirts and stuff.
Can I say one more thing about the Batman thing and just be done with it?
No.
It's not.
No.
Last word.
It's no last
None of
word.
us will say anything.
I just want to say myself, my reputation. It's not a generational thing. I do love Michael Keaton, but as a comic adaptation, wasn't a good Batman.
You are dead to me.
Do you want to fight?
Here's the deal. Keaton
it.
is a comedy actor. Before Batman, here's the deal. All right. Bruce Willis, when he was cast
From
for
Die
Die
Hard?
Hard, they were like, "What is this? He's not an action hero. He plays romantic comedies, and he's a comedy
He was
actor.
moonlighting at the time.
Why is he doing an action movie?" And then Michael Keaton was a comedy actor, and they're like, "What is he doing Batman for? What is this? This doesn't make sense. He's a comedy actor."
Yeah. It's
It's
true.
the same thing.
It's true.
It's
That was a big
the
deal.
best thing, a great actor can make you laugh,
Tom Cruise.
and make you cry.
Tom Cruise in Interview with the Vampire. Have you guys seen Interview with the Vampire? That movie's awesome.
Yeah.
But,
We're in
like,
TVs
The
now.
author was like, "What the fuck? No!" And then she saw it, and she was like, "I think Anne Rice." She saw the movie. She saw the movie with Tom Cruise, and she's like, "Oh, he's actually awesome."
Yeah, no, he was really great in that movie.
Talented people are talented people.
Saying
Really
it's a
quickly-
good movie. You go watch. You read the comic books. it's not the same guy.
I like it both. I like the new. I like all Batman.
All right,
except for
hey,
the,
hey
bad
fans,
ones.
if you've checked out our new thumbnail, let's get a
George
photo of that.
Clooney.
Let's get a photo of the thumbnail we sent out this week. It's I think we all have guns, right? I think everyone's got a gun in the picture.
We were trying to surprise you, and you were
There
a
you
fucking
go.
asshole. And you like caught me and Brandon playing with them.
Yeah, we were really excited about the surprise.
Oh yeah, I was like, "What are you guys doing in the parking lot with all these guns?" Like, "Shut up, walk away!" But and I'm wearing the sandwich board, which is a throwback to Die Hard 3. And feel free to write something awful or hilarious
Look at
on
Connor.
that sandwich board, and we'll pick the winner, and it'll be our thumbnail on our YouTube video, as always. Hashtag RT Screenplay. All right, so we go to television really quickly because you assholes got talked about Batman for way too long. Okay, so Discovery finally did the what was the show called? Man Eat
Man
Alive.
Eaten Alive, which yeah, they showed the clip. To be fair, if I was getting eaten up by a snake, I would have been like, "Yeah, I'm out, guys. I'm out. Cancel. Go
But
back."
They didn't show anything though.
I know.
That's
All
the
of it
thing.
was
You
just,
couldn't
like,
tell what was
reaction,
happening.
and
You
then
could
like,
not
close
tell
up.
what. It was covered poorly.
To be fair, Chris, that Red Bull and that whiskey that you put in your drink is totally paying
I'm
off
just
for you.
saying. No, I'm just saying. It was scary. I got scared watching it. Like watching that guy get eaten, I could see because he was like, "Guys, they're about to break my arm. They're about to break my arm."
My arm is like bending.
Yeah, so his head, they got the top of his head, right? I didn't
That's
see
it.
it.
The
Well,
thing is-
here's the thing. First, whenever
So he
this,
pussed out.
whenever this got announced, people were so pissed at Discovery because it was going to be harmful to the snake. You're going to kill this snake by like making it eat this man in this suit.
Yeah.
And now everyone's pissed because there's like that nothing got eaten. That's some bullshit.
I want to see a snake eat a man. God damn it!
So who do you know that talks like this?
the people
fucking right next to watch
the
Discovery,
people
apparently.
who tuned in to watch a man get eaten by a snake who were disappointed.
Well, Chris, you know somebody with a boa, right? As a pet.
I do.
Yeah. The snake.
Tell me
It's
more.
like so Chris had this friend who had a boa, and the boa would sleep with her in her bed.
Oh yeah.
And
she
there was
woke up
one
dead.
night the snake like just basically instead of curled up on the girl, laid out long ways. So basically she was lying
about this,
there,
Chris?
and then the snake was just like right next to her, like it was someone like a
Sleeps
human.
the fucking snake.
And so the girl took the snake to the vet, and she's like, "I don't know what's wrong with it." And the vet kind of looked at the snake and looked at her, and he was like, "Your snake is sizing you up
Oh,
because
to
he's
eat
gonna
you. He wants to eat you."
Why did you ruin the punchline if you didn't remember?
I just remembered. I just remembered.
Why
the
did
side
it was
eye.
5
He wa-
seconds?
Sorry, I got
Bruce Willis
excited.
was dead the whole time.
Wait.
I tell you to tell a joke. We have an awkward moment, and I was like, "Fine, I'll remember you telling this joke," and then you ruined the punchline.
What?
And that's the Brandon that I wanted on this podcast.
Wait, who was that? I remember that.
I don't know.
I told you that story.
That was a podcast story, I think, too. Yeah.
Or someone I'd heard that story.
Reptiles don't have feelings.
No, they don't.
Lizards?
They're not mammals.
Yeah.
Right. Reptiles are not mammals.
Reptiles are
can
not
we fact check that?
mammals.
Are reptiles
Fact
in
check
fact
that
mammals?
shit. All right, while she's fact checking that, Mark Hamill, who is hot off the press, he just wrapped on the newest Star Wars, which we're not going to talk about anymore. Star Wars, but
Star Wars?
Yeah,
Die Hard?
Mark Hamill, who plays Luke
Die Hard.
Skywalker, who was originally supposed to be Luke Starkiller, which would have been an awful name.
No, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, okay. So Mark Hamill is playing. He played the character Trickster, which is a villain to the Flash.
Which is essentially the Joker.
Yeah, no, there it is.
Right?
And the Trickster, yeah.
Or maybe the Riddler.
But that's Mark Hamill playing it in the 1990s version of The Flash, the TV
That's
show.
crazy.
So Mark Hamill is going to play the same villain on CW's version of The Flash that is out now.
Hopefully not with
JJ,
that costume.
That's you and I love Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
It was a
And
Cockknocker.
basically, yeah,
He's
Mark
Cockknocker.
Hamill is parodying that role. He's like this evil villain with like a costume that looks
very
like
similar,
that,
very similar.
and he's just called Cockknocker.
Okay, so that's really interesting. So keep an eye out
knocks
for that.
cocks.
Hopefully his outfit
here's the
looks a
deal.
little cooler.
I don't care if he's done it before or if it's bad. I just want to see Mark Hamill in more stuff.
Yeah.
That's what.
No,
That's what I just want to see him.
I'm cool with that.
I would see Mark Hamill in anything. I just want to see him.
Would you see him in a porn?
It sucks
Yes,
that he
totally.
retired.
Absolutely.
Okay.
He retired from
Would you
being
not?
the Joker.
Oh, absolutely.
Would
Right.
you?
But-
Yeah. If you found out Mark Hamill was in a porn.
Fuck yeah.
Actually, let me take that back. Any cast member of Star Wars is in a porn.
Wait. Is it Star Wars themed?
Yes.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
fuck yeah.
Of
Oh, yeah.
course.
Well, no. What if it?
Do you think George Lucas would watch that trailer?
He'd be like, wait.
The
till
only one I'm
he
interested
wouldn't watch
in
the trailer. He'd watch it when it came
Is
out.
Anakin slave
When it
owner?
came out.
Hey Annie. Hey ladies, did you order a pizza? Extra sausage.
Oh god.
So there you go.
can
I think
hear it.
Hamill's most beloved role, we'll say Luke's his most beloved,
yeah, it's
but
Joker.
the Joker is pretty high up there. He retired from being the Joker, I
the
think,
voice,
after
yeah.
Arkham City.
Yeah.
But
City.
I think he said he would come back if they did The Killing Joke, which is one of the most popular
I think
graphic novels.
he said he'd come back under any circumstances necessary.
Oh, really?
I'm just saying, like he's probably like, just give me money.
no, after Sevens, he's gonna have a resurgence.
Because Star Wars, yeah, he's gonna make.
Well, no, they replaced him. I think there's a new Joker that basically does a really good
Joker
Mark
voice,
Hamill
yeah.
Yeah,
impression.
it's actually the guy that plays. Not to get too far into video games, but it's the dude that did like Booker and Troy Baker.
Troy Baker.
Right?
Was he
There you
in
go.
Batman
He's in
Returns?
everything.
Batman.
Was he in Batman
he's in
Returns?
Bioshock
Oh no,
and
that
everything.
was fucking.
No, I'm not serious.
All right,
Oh.
and if you say Clooney again, I'm gonna be so mad.
Oh, I thought you were talking about. No, I thought you were thinking Dark Knight Returns. They actually did that into
All right,
an animated
and just really
cartoon.
quickly before we move on, Netflix has its Daredevil show. It's going to do a few more Marvel shows. It's got just cast Jessica Jones, Kristen Ritter, who played Jane in Breaking Bad. Jesse's
girlfriend
yeah,
who.
Aaron Paul's girlfriend. that
Jesse's
OD's
girl.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Anyway, so she's gonna be Jessica
Spoilers.
Jones, and I think there's two more people that are gonna get their own spin-off shows on Netflix, and then they're all gonna join up for the Defenders. So it'll be Jessica Jones, the Daredevil. It'll be like a TV version of the Avengers. We'll see if that works out. And then South Park this week took on something very close to our industry that. South Park took on PewDiePie and online gamers, or just kind of Let's Plays in general. I found it so fucking funny.
We don't have time to talk about Walking Dead, do we? Do we want to say that for next week?
Let's talk about next week. Oh, it just ended, didn't it?
The mid-season finale, whatever the fuck that
that's
We
means.
gotta get to Die Hard at some point, boys.
All right, so we'll keep it down.
All
Meg
right,
Turner.
maybe
Literally
we're not
covering
gonna
your
listen to the rest of the show.
Well, the thing here's the thing about the South Park episode is it essentially encapsulates Rooster Teeth in a lot of ways.
That South Park episode?
It talks
Yes.
about PewDiePie and Let's Plays and that the idea of people watching people play.
Just the
video
idea of
games.
commenting on video
Yeah,
games.
and it's like we don't understand this, and the idea that the TV generation, people who go to the living room, is dying.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't understand why people are just watching people play video games.
I think,
Yeah.
I mean, you see that. Things change. Like, I think a lot of people would say that going over to your friend's house to play video games, that's dead.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a good number of games that don't even have split screen.
Yeah,
You know, because it's
it's
just
people
culturally
don't
it
do it.
dies. So, I mean,
there are
things
the
change.
few games that are like Smash Brothers where you play in one screen and you play in the same room for the most part. But
Yeah.
like most games, you play online, and it's just things change and
Things
people,
change.
People don't understand it, and I
Yeah.
mean South Park is so
On the
good
nose.
at seeing changes in everything and then commenting on it.
Yeah.
They do that. They're making fun of people commenting on
Yeah.
video games, but they're commenting on it.
Let us know what you thought. #RT Screenplay. What are your thoughts on the newest episode of South Park? It's one of these things where it's just super surreal. Like whenever you see like on like BuzzFeed and stuff, and you see the when LeVar Burton was like at the live stream, and you're seeing the internet freak out about things.
Yeah.
And then you're just kind of like, that's so weird because that's where I work.
Yeah.
So when to see culture comment on the industry that you around every day is just, it's like funnier. It's funny because it's just so many
I'll have
levels.
to watch that episode. Yeah.
All right, so we're about to be joined by Mr. Greg McLennan, who's Alamo Greg from the Alamo Draft House. He's doing a really cool event, and I thought it'd be a good tie-in to talk about Die Hard, which is kind of a fun action movie. But he is doing a Nicolas Cage marathon, the second one ever, actually.
yeah?
And so, Alamo Greg, let's go ahead and first of all, you've been sitting. I've known Greg. We've known each other since we were teenagers. We both come from the Corpus Christi area. It's funny that we both work in the industry now. But so you've been sitting there biting your lip the whole time. What do you have any comments on what we've been talking about?
No, I was just cracking my knuckles going like, that guy's wrong, that guy's wrong, that guy's the idiot guy.
He's pointing at me for some reason.
I mean, what the
Our
fuck? Have you
YouTube
seen
audience
Jack and
would
Jill?
love to
Al
know what
Pacino's
we're on.
amazing in that. He raps at the end about fucking donuts.
I'm not
Are
team Jack
you
and Jill.
defending Jack and Jill?
I will defend the fuck out of Al Pacino and Jack and
no,
Jill.
but Greg is a lover of bad movies.
I'm not a lover of bad movies. There's no such thing as a bad movie. Want to know why?
Yes, there
'Cause
is.
if you liked it while you were watching it, guess what? It's not a fucking bad movie.
No, there can be a bad movie. You can just enjoy watching a bad movie. It can still be a bad movie.
I will fight you about this.
Okay. So Alamo, Greg, let's talk about. Do you also do stuff for El Rey as well?
I did a couple things for El Rey, I guess.
You do the introduction of the
I
movies.
did. Yeah, I introduced a handful of movies for them where I was like, "This is a good movie. You should watch it," and then you would watch it.
Nice. Well, I hope people watch it. So, all right. So you're doing a Nicolas Cage marathon. You're gonna tell us a little bit about it. But before we do that, I just want to make sure that you are a pretty good Nicolas Cage fan yourself. So I wrote a couple of questions. Now, here's the thing about these questions. I didn't Google these. I didn't search on the internet. These literally came out of my head. These are just Nicolas Cage nuggets that I know. All right. So for you, Greg, what famous 1980s movie does Nicolas Cage play a line cook but has no lines?
That's Fast Times, is it?
Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That's right. All right. What did Nicolas Cage name his son?
Kal-El.
The name of Superman. That's correct. All right. What Nicolas Cage role was molded after the Wile E. Coyote cartoon?
Raising Arizona.
That is also correct. All right. Nicolas Cage is a big Elvis memorabilia collector. One of the biggest. What is the biggest piece of memorabilia he's acquired?
Well, I don't know about that.
That would be his daughter, Lisa Marie Presley, because
fair
they
one.
were shortly married for a while.
Smart.
All right. So that was a bit of a.
Have you ever made love to Nicolas Cage?
No, I have a Nicolas Cage body pillow that I hump, but I don't know if it,
like those
Doesn't
anime
count,
body
'cause-
pillows?
yeah.
3 for 4. That's pretty.
No, those
eyes are open. It counts.
Do you hump the front or the? Do you hump the front or the back?
Depends on the mood.
Yeah, it just depends.
I was very confident in because Greg and I talk movies all the time, so I knew he'd know a lot of these. And last one, Nicolas Cage is really Nicolas Coppola, part of the Coppola gang, Francis Ford Coppola and Sofia Coppola and all of them. Jason Schwartzman's part of that gang, but he took the name Nicolas Cage, took the last name Cage from what?
Is it Luke Cage?
Luke Cage. That's right, the Marvel character Luke Cage, otherwise known as Power Man. All right, Greg McLennan, you therefore are okay,
validated.
and you can
I'm in the group.
fact host a Nicolas Cage marathon. So what can we expect? Secret movies. You haven't announced the names. It could be any Nicolas Cage movie, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I do my best to play it tight to my vest. Like, I don't tell family, friends, anybody. Whenever we announce them, like, everybody's just like, what movies are you playing? Because I don't want to go because we're friends and don't fucking ruin my afternoon because it's 10 hours of Nicolas Cage. And I'm like, sorry, if you want to be there, you want to be there. So, like, last year we did Vampire's Kiss, which is kind of what everybody was expecting us to show. Like, oh, you got to show Vampire's Kiss. And so I was like, fine, fuck you guys. Here's your Vampire's Kiss. And then the second movie, I showed Leaving Las Vegas, and I go, I need to make sure you all want to be here all day. But I bet it's really weird. Like, those two movies are this incredible, like, it's the same performance, but one of them is like one of the most ridiculed Nicolas Cage's performances. But if you watch that performance and then immediately follow that with Leaving Las Vegas, you realize that they're almost the exact same performance. Just one of them won an Oscar.
So Vampire's Kiss, is that the one where Nicolas Cage is doing that crazy voice he does from Peggy Sue Got Married?
He does like 9 different voices in that movie. He also eats a live cockroach on film.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, it's I would say a
But
Nicolas
he wasn't
Cage
eaten by
classic.
a snake, though.
He was not eaten by a snake.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if I
He
want.
was eaten by a snake in the De Palma movie. What am I looking for? It's not 8mm. It is Snake Eyes.
Oh, yeah,
That's just
Snake
because he
Eyes,
wears
that's
that
right.
the jacket. He also wears it in Wild at Heart. He wears like the fucking real loud snakeskin leather jacket.
And so, okay, Greg, and where can people find more information on the Nicolas Cage marathon?
If you guys go to drafthouse.com, just search Caged 2, Uncaged, or just Caged. That's the name of the marathon.
Nice. And Greg's always got cool events going on. He's also cutting a lot of the trailers for Draft House Films. I think you cut the trailer for, did you do Why Don't You Play in Hell?
I did, yeah.
You did Why Don't You Play in Hell trailer for Draft House Films, and you also did the Michel Gondry film.
Yeah, Mood Indigo.
There you go. So you're doing a lot of good stuff. If you want to follow him on Twitter, it's Alamo Greg, at Alamo Greg. Greg McLennan, old friend from back in the day. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Awesome.
Thank you, Greg.
All right, so man. So why'd you guys take your shoes off?
EBK.
We just like, yeah.
Oh, I know why. Because it's fucking Die Hard time. All right, let me just say something really quickly
All
about
right,
Die
say
Hard.
something.
First, okay.
JJ needs to say something about Die Hard.
I need to say something about Die Hard. Go ahead. So Die Hard to me is like really frightening, and because the idea of doing all this crazy stuff without shoes on, like I barely. All right, let's get to a wide shot and see what you guys have missed. You guys, you motherfuckers, have all dressed up like John McClane You even dirtied your feet. You took this shit serious.
Yeah, there's a lot of bloody footprints in the wardrobe room.
All right, so last week I kind of got, I don't know, what'd you say? I kind of got dominated on what movies we were going to watch this week. You guys all picked Die Hard, so we're here. We're going to do Die Hard.
It's a good movie. It's a good holiday movie.
It's a good holiday movie.
Do you not like Die Hard?
No, it's not that I don't like Die Hard. I would have gone for something, I would have played Die Hard maybe closer to Christmas. But at the same time, I just
that's when we do Die Hard 2, 3, 4. Or we do Die Hard again.
You know what I love about Die Hard is, a lot of times you have these crazy catalysts for movies and all these, guys coming in and blowing you up. But this was just like a normal event. Basically,
It's just like a.
Whoa.
that's what's going on.
All right, do we still have power?
Oh.
I'm going to be taking control of this.
We got a Hans Gruber taking control of the podcast.
I'm so scared, but you should speak a little louder.
Where are my explosives?
I don't have your explosives.
Well, you better get my explosives.
Get him the detonators, guys.
Yeah. No, I have the detonators.
You just need the explosives.
Chris, we need help. We need help.
I wonder how things are going on the outside.
I wonder if we have a device that we can call.
Well, I just feel like a little unappreciated. Actually,
We don't have a
Here's our-
walkie-talkie.
give me a walkie-talkie.
I feel like I'm watching a really bad SNL skit.
Here's your walkie, Chris. How's it going down there, guys? I feel a little fucking unappreciated.
How's it going? Just hang in there.
What? No! Yes! Nobody told me this was happening. This is amazing. You got Joshua?
You got a lot of people behind you. We're all with you.
It's just everyone's running around with their asses up their ass, and I just want a little respect.
He's trying to get
Wait, is this a rehearsed bit? Can I start talking yet?
Or no, wait, you're not Brad.
What's happening right now?
Hans Gruber.
Hans. What do you think you can just come in here and take over our show?
Bobby, come on!
Count to 3. There's not going to be a 4. 1.
Wait, Bobby.
2. What?
If you're listening at home, we have been hijacked by a Hans Gruber lookalike, and we have a police officer in the video.
This is all pretty funny.
It's on fire!
There's so much tape.
All right.
I almost got it.
Why is my gun not firing?
Hold on. Almost.
End scene. You know what you guys look like? You're like the bad SWAT team from Die Hard that goes in there with guns blazing. They're just awful. That's what you guys are.
We taped our triggers.
You taped your triggers.
All right,
you
that
idiots.
didn't happen in Die Hard. He did not tape his trigger with duct tape.
No,
but we
that's,
did.
that's obviously unrealistic now.
All right,
like
we're gonna-
immersion, we
You have
test
to sit
things
there
and
the
video
whole
games
time,
are
dead Hans Gruber. Okay, can I just say my favorite moment of all was the Josh moment because I didn't know Josh was in the
You
video
didn't know
store.
anything that was
Yeah,
happening.
nice. Good job on the POC.
You discovered the gun, so we were immediately like, oh, that's just for the.
No, you guys completely threw me off. Well
Okay.
done, I think. I'm not really sure.
It was done.
Let's legitimately talk Die Hard now.
Let's talk Die Hard. All right, so that definitely happened. So I was hoping Brad or Hans here would talk in his American accent because I completely forgot about that scene as a kid. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
you're one of them.
when Alan Rickman is playing an American is amazing. It's really good.
He has the worst accent.
Yeah.
He's like, excellent, dude. Yeah. But no, my favorite part with Alan Rickman is when Gennaro's like, you're just a common crook. He throws a fucking bag and he like gets right into her face and he's like, I'm an excellent crook.
And
you know?
I heard spoilers. The scene at the end when he falls from the top of the building, and that he has that look. I saw on Reddit this past week that they let him go a second too early.
Yeah,
so that
so that
moment
he
of
was
shock,
genuine.
that moment of shock where he's like, so like you stunt guys lied to me.
It was like, all right, we're gonna let you go on 3, 2. Oops.
That's a good
it's
fall.
perfect.
Like, there's not that many good stunt falls where, like, okay, it's never believable that a guy is falling from a building. You
Yeah.
can always see, like,
The
300 kind of did it all right when they got kicked down the well. That was a good fucking fall. And that was 1980 something.
And that's all practical effects.
Yeah.
Like they don't like
They
if that
actually
movie was-
killed Alan Rickman. He actually dropped him from.
It was
If
amazing.
that movie was made today, it'd be completely different
That'd
and
be a
nowhere near
super
as
CGI.
charming. And the thing I like about it, and I almost feel like it parodies the diehards after it is you have two things happening. The cop, played by Josh Ranellis, I don't know where he went, is setting up the
Carl
fact
Winslow.
that
It's
the
Carl Winslow. You
the
call him Carl
FBI
Winslow.
is going to stereotypically come in here, and we already know what they're going to do. They're going to do a laundry list of things, and in the movie, it's in the context of, well, that's what they do in these situations. But what we really think is you've seen all these movies before, and that's what's going to happen. But we know better than that. That's not happening in this movie. And the other part of it is Alan Rickman is coming off as this, pseudo-terrorist, and he just like wants power and control, which is a movie we've seen so many times in the 90s. But in the end, he's like, nah, I just want money. So it's like they take these two common aspects of action movies, like Scream did with horror movies, and throw it on its head. But then in the sequels, they're just like, fuck it, we're just gonna make
him he's like completely unbeatable, and he's this power man.
Yeah,
or whatever.
didn't he drive a motorcycle into a helicopter?
I think the new ones are so just.
In 4, he drives a cop car.
I do love this movie. A few qualms I picked up while watching it the second time. That white smoke bomb at the beginning. Okay, there's the guard. There's the
hockey puck.
There's the actual guard by the elevators that John McClane sees on the way to the party, and he waves at him. He's like, "Oh hey," and he's just kind of sitting there, kind of fucking around. And like the guys, the villains, they like turn this like white. Or the white smoke bomb, the puck, and then like it blows up, and it surprises him, and then they come by and they shoot him. Like, you could have just shot him. He was literally just fucking around by the elevator. You didn't need that big explosion.
Style. God damn it.
Style points.
Also, I also wrote down the note. That's not how walkie-talkies work. There's this scene whenever John McClane and not Carl Winslow or Alan, but the
Al Powell,
his sergeant above him or whatever. They're arguing via walkie-talkie, and McClane starts yelling, and it cuts off the other guy's walkie-talkie. And I'm like, no, you say over. You say what you say and over. But they're like, it was like a telephone. Like he interrupted him with the walkie-talkie, which is impossible.
There's a couple like
that's okay.
No.
That's what you're picking apart.
yeah.
The walkie-talkies.
The more I watch it, though, the more I found like little okay. So the guy that has the shirt that says "Now I have a machine gun," ho ho ho.
Yeah,
there's
that's
a part
great.
where he's like his head's turned to the side and his eyes open, and then Alan Rickman like grabs him to turn his head, and he just blinks, and every time I'm like, that guy's still alive.
Look at dead bodies in like Law and Order shows. You can see them breathing.
I know
usually.
it's yeah.
Okay, and my other question is, what does this company do exactly that there are just levels of barrels and steam and pipes? Like, because there's always like these big action like moments, like, and there's just barrels and pipes, and I'm like, what is this company doing?
We have that stuff all over too.
No, the building is under construction. There's certain levels that aren't done, and they're still building the building.
Okay, I just wanted to know.
What else you got?
I said that. I'm still trying to get over this incredible theatrical thing you guys did.
We tried to get glass, but we couldn't find any glass.
Brad was laying there up until like a minute ago.
I know.
Like, he's just laying there.
I texted Cole. Thank you, Cole. I've been texting him the whole show to make sure we're all good, and he, along with the whole staff, did a great job. But we tried to get a single on Brad, but Hans has disappeared.
So
he's still alive.
So the cop Alan that helps him out the whole time is it's Carl Winslow from Family Matters, which I'll keep calling Carl Winslow. So in my head,
he's also the cop in Ghostbusters.
Is he? Are
yes.
you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
You had another.
He and the the asshole reporter
Pecker
from Die Hard. He's Dickless from Ghostbusters.
Walter Peck.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, he's in that movie too as well. Okay, so I'd like to believe that Alan is Carl Winslow from Family Matters, and that Die Hard
After he shot
Die Hard
somebody.
happened before that TV show
He's
started.
like Steve Urkel.
and he's in witness protection. Yeah, maybe he.
He goes home and he's like, Steve Urkel, honestly, just leave me the fuck alone. I had a crazy night. I need just go do your accidents and break my shit.
Or a
I
flip.
need to be alone tonight.
Or a flip when he's telling that story to John McClane, talking about how he's weird about his gun because at one point he saw a 13-year-old teenage kid with a ray gun that looked real, and he shot him.
Yeah.
And all I could think was like, did he kill Steve Urkel?
Well, he returns in the second one, which I don't know how we feel about 2. Let's just focus on Die Hard 1.
Yeah.
There's a lot with the sequels. 3 was really good.
Well, it's so like I like what works for me for 1 versus what the other Die Hards is. He's so everyman. He's not a superhero.
Yeah.
Like he can get hurt. And
He's handicapped right from the beginning with the shoes.
He's without his shoes, which is a crazy idea to have him be like barefoot the whole time. It really like drums you into what they're trying to do. But that's my biggest caveat with the other like Die Hards is like now he's taking on Russian spies. He's doing all this stuff, and it's really he's just
the
a guy.
90s, man.
I mean, it's got to escalate.
It's true.
It's sequels, that's whatever. But yeah, let's focus on what's good about Die Hard.
One of
because
the-
you know what? Everything is good about
Chris
Die
has
Hard.
had a
One
few
of the
drinks.
craziest things.
This is what Die Hard.
I'm pretty sure there's just one scene that's Alan Rickman and Bruce Willis, right? Their final confrontation.
They have several scenes. They
Do
have
they
the
several
scene.
scenes?
Yeah, they have the initial radio scene where they talk to each other.
Not when they're talking to each other, but when they're face to face.
No. They also have the face when he has the fake accent.
And he has the gun.
And then he gives him the gun, and then they basically have like 3 or 4 scenes.
4 scenes?
5
together?
scenes. Not face to face. They probably have face to face.
That's what I'm
probably
saying.
2
Is like
scenes.
so much of their relationship and their conflict is established in cuts and then talking to one another. Like they're not face to face and they're not interacting with each other. They're never eye to eye, and there's something interesting about that. I think very different from anything that you see. It's like everything that built up to those climactic moments. They weren't looking at each other.
That's what made Alan Rickman's American, like, I'm an American, help me out here, I'm scared, scene so awesome. It was because you're like, as a viewer, you're like, right there, look right, shoot him,
And then he did the whole thing where he's like, I'm John McClane. He introduces himself, and then he has the
Clay,
list,
board Clay or whatever.
That was pretty clever.
So
Clay.
So I've like this is an old action movie like formula that's been reproduced since Die Hard. There weren't like I guess you could say a lot of 80s action films were this way, but I want to do a thing in the future where we don't play dialogue, where we just literally play like a firefight scene, like just guns, shooting, no dialogue, and you have to name what movie it is. Do you think you could do that, Blaine?
Absolutely, yeah.
I can name. You can take any scene where somebody dies in Total Recall, and I'll know it's Total Recall.
Really?
Yeah, I know that movie backwards and forwards. That's an awesome movie.
Man, they made like an alien game where it's like you are on a ship alone with the alien. They should make a Die Hard video game.
That would be
with just like a limited number of terrorists. You get shot, you're fucking dead.
There was an arcade Die Hard movie.
Yeah, there was an old
an
old game for the first
There
movie.
needs to be like a game that's like the cat and mouse
aspect of it.
Die Hard, yeah.
Not just like running around, because that's not what he does. He doesn't run around and just shoot people.
No, it's super.
It's super like, I'm gonna hide here. I'm gonna run here. I'm gonna set up this trap.
We gotta finish up here a bit. But what was the recap you guys did, which was a nod to? It was the one to Chris in the elevator vent.
Yeah, I made him go up
Elevator
into
shaft.
the vents, and he was like crawling around.
What was the name of that?
Get together, have a few laughs.
What was the name of that episode?
Oh, fuck if I remember.
What is it?
Hidden Treasure.
Hidden Treasure.
Can I ask
check
you-
that out if you want? It's really funny.
Can I ask you guys something? Because I think you both said it at different points. In your eyes, John McClane is just an everyday man.
Yeah.
But I see how they might make you think that. But this guy's
he's Indiana Jones.
He's not he's still a huge action star. Like nothing about him seems like he's forced in this situation. He's always in control. He always knows what he's doing.
No, that's not true. He's not always in control. He just deals well under pressure.
I feel like they make you think he's an everyman, but he's not. He's bad.
No,
he takes cop to the most
but here's the deal.
He's like the
he
most
is the
badass
person
cop.
that you want to be, Brandon.
I agree with that. I'm just saying.
It's like Indiana Jones. It's like Han Solo. It's like John McClane. They're all the
Star-Lord.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just like there's this person. He's funny. He's not perfect, but he's pretty fucking close.
I feel like he's a super cop, though. Like, they show you all these cops on the ground in L.A., and nobody can compare to him. He is a super cop.
Yeah.
Like, he's not Joe Everyman.
Well, but he has that, like, comfort.
Charm and, like, humility.
So I think what you're saying is he's the lead of a movie.
No, I think, like, a lot of people think that he's just, like, it's so hard. He's not this huge action star, but he's not ever fretting. He's not ever trying to learn and getting better.
Up a lot,
he's so comfortable and he's so relaxed. Like he's a huge action hero from the first scene in the movie.
No, it's true. You do buy it. You never
I feel like they trick you.
him.
The
You never doubt him.
filmmakers do a really good job tricking you.
Yeah. Okay. Final thoughts. Die Hard. What everyone think.
Best holiday movie for sure for me. Like every year.
Oh, really?
Every year I watch Die Hard 1 and 2.
Brandon?
I think it's one of the best just straight action movies. It's like if you want to watch an action movie, it's like the perfect action movie.
And Demarais.
You
love Die Hard.
It was
You're
like
covered in blood, you idiot.
Yeah, fucking Die Hard is awesome. It honestly, Die Hard to me is.
He's at 11 today. He's just at 11.
Die Hard.
Hey,
it's like
Mike.
okay.
Mike.
Die Hard
Your
is.
mic.
If you want to watch an action movie, Die Hard is the action movie you should watch. I think Dumb and Dumber is the great, like one of the greatest comedies. I think Die Hard is one of the greatest action movies.
There you
it's
go.
Just awesome.
There you go.
And people can say it's like, oh well, Die Hard, like it's such a generic action movie.
It's not.
It's only no.
It invented the generic
It's
action
exactly.
movie.
Yes. It defined the genre.
That's what I'm saying.
It definitely did.
It made it made Bruce Willis a star.
Yeah.
It made action.
Whereas
it's
action
just-
movies after that to be like, all right, we got to do the trope where we got to have like the Sarge get outdone by the
Yeah.
FBI guy that gets outdone.
Yeah, it's just.
And they fell into the concept the things that
But
Die Hard was
they
making
did their
fun
own
of.
thing.
Yeah.
They did their own thing at the time. All right, so Die Hard, let us know. RT Screenplay, let us know in the comments. How much do you love this fucking movie? How much do you love John McClane? How much do you hate the sequels and why? So last week, I wanted to pick the movie I was going to pick was The One I Love, which is a crazy, supernatural, kind of heady movie with Mark Duplass. We interviewed him on a screenplay a long time about it. It's got, you got to check it out. It's The One I Love. It's online for streaming. Some people watched it last week anyway and tweeted at me about how much they love the movie. So that's it. The One I Love. Watch it. We'll talk about it next week. It's a fun little movie. And Andy, before we go, what do you got for us?
All right. So the first person to correctly identify the quote of the week was Phil Taddock. Yeah.
And
It was Garth from Wayne's World.
There you go. Anything else, Andy, before we take off?
It's constrictive.
Um,
Wow, it becomes a party.
Yeah.
What you got?
Bryce Brower said that the stunt that you pulled was pretty much like if Die Hard was not an action film, but a joke film that got 1 star.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for your Die Hard theatrics. I really had no idea any of this was happening.
Yeah,
So-
we know.
After last week, we're like, what can we do to JJ this week?
All right.
Fuck JJ up.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time right here on Screenplay next week. See you then.